Well, you know that we have covered our fair share of scammers and sociopaths, and a combination between the two in this channel, including, but not limited to, Elizabeth Holmes and Anna Delvey. That's one of my most popular videos. But right now, we are looking at Charlie Javis, who exaggerated her customer list to convince JP Morgan to pay her 175 million, and she's going to jail in July. This is quite a roller coaster. Venture capital firms tripped all over themselves to fund female-owned startups, and as a result, they weren't as selective as they might otherwise have been. You know that is the same thing that happened with Elizabeth Holmes. Everybody wanted to be the first one to struck the unicorn led by a woman. It would be a crazy story for the books, for the ages. It would be nice. You would be the first one to struck gold that way. But sadly, after Elizabeth Holmes, thanks to her, indeed, it has been let's say, more and more difficult for legit companies led by female founders to, well, do something about it. And this kind of cases do not help. Charlie Javis has to wear an ankle monitor after prosecutors warn that the 32-year-old founder posed a flight risk. But who is her? Well, she looks anguished. You'd look anguished too if you were convicted of a 175 billion fraud and facing 30 years in prison. But where does this come from? And Luis Malero compiled a very good thread about this. Shout out to Luis. This is Charlie Javis. At 28, she sold her company to JP Morgan for 175 million. The problem, her company was a big fat lie. She got known, first of all, creating a platform called Pover Up. The mission was helping underprivileged communities to access credit. And thanks to that first development, it seems that it was legit, that it raised 300K and had active partnerships, she was discovered. And after that, she was 19 when Inc. magazine featured Pover Up as one of the coolest college startups. That was great. Okay, it was a nice beginning. Fast Company named her among the 100 most creative people. She also claims she rejected the prestigious Peter Thiel Fellowship, it was 100K grant, but her biggest idea was still to come. And to be fair, the idea was really good because there was an actual need in the market for this. What was this about? After graduation, Javis spotted a genuine problem. That's the thing. It's like Theranos. Theranos did not solve the problem. The problem is still there, which is quick blood work with just a drop of blood, which is pretty much impossible still. But in Javis' case, was the FAFSA, was the Federal Student Aid. It is composed of more than 100 questions. Imagine a form. There's more than 100 questions, 3 times longer than a standard tax form, and very complex paperwork. Bill Gates has said that it is a roadblock to higher education. So she said, okay, we could use artificial intelligence to help people fill these forms, and I think that is brilliant. I think that would be a good idea. So her solution was called Frank. That streamlined FAFSA completion in about 4 minutes. So excellent, sign me up. It aid appeal assistance for students to get better financial packages, financial planning tools, and scholarship guidance, cash advances up to 5K while waiting for aid disbursement. Yeah, all this was needed. All this was a real issue, and well, she was building something towards it, and she had a partial solution, and she was building what is the most important, the audience, the user base. By 2021, Frank claimed incredible success, 4.5 million users in 4 years. That is a big asterisk in there. 20 million in funds raised, partnerships with major institutions. This got Charlie featured on Forbes 30 under 30, and it didn't go unnoticed. You know that is That is almost the kiss of death in these situations, being featured in Forbes 30 under 30. You know that it's so many instances that does not end up well. The meteoric rise caught J.P. Morgan's attention. Oh, we want a slice of this pie. We want something of this. And Jarvis pitched Frank as an acquisition machine. She claimed Frank knew more about their students than any lender, college, or employer. And that makes sense because so many students giving their information via artificial intelligence to fill a form that had 100 questions. You can imagine that it had a vast amount of data about these students. It makes sense, okay? It makes sense. If you have, asterisk, quote unquote, 4 million users, more than 4 million users. So, yeah, okay, this could be a great deal. So, JP Morgan wanted to buy Frank, and the price tag was $170 million. Jarvis payday, $10 million upfront, $20 million retention bonus, and she was the managing director position at JP Morgan. She called it her fairy tale new beginning, but every fairy tale has an ending. During due diligence, like, oh, let's find this out. Let's find out if this is legit. JP Morgan wanted to verify Frank's 4.5 million user base. Jarvis refused. Oh no, you cannot verify that because we have privacy concerns. You can't just look into the user data. You cannot do that. All right. But the real reason is because Frank did not, the company did not have 4.5 million users. The company had less than 300,000 users. All right, so let that sink in. How could she fix, JP Morgan trying to, well, we want to make this work? Well, she paid $18,000 to create millions of fake accounts, spent more than 100,000 on backup fake data, and destroyed the evidence minutes after verification. Was this enough to fool JP Morgan? Well, yes, for a while. Because when JP Morgan tried using the customer database, 28 of the emails only 28 of the emails were delivered. What does that mean? Is that imagine that they sent 4 million emails, and only 28% of those emails are actually received. The other 72% bounce. The addresses do not exist. Okay? Like, we are talking about 3/4 of the emails in the database did not exist at all. And only 1.1 open rate of the emails delivered, only 1.1 of those emails were open. And the typical open rate is 30%. My open rate is close to 50%. So the house of cards collapsed. Investigation revealed the fraud. And there were earlier signs. Her 2017 New York Times opinion piece on FAFSA required 8 major corrections. Oh my God. So it seems that she didn't even know what she was talking about when she was talking about student aid. I mean, how can these people, it's like Anna Delvey, how can they just swindle their way into success? It's like so many people around them want desperately them to be successful. In 2020, the FFTC warned about misleading marketing of CARES Act grants, and Frank's website used stock photos as actual users. Maybe they could be using AI pictures as actual users. But there's more, says Luis. He says, remember Pover Up? The company was never registered. All right, so it was fake as well. Not a single loan was distributed. Oh my God, this is an actual plot twist. And the Peter Thiel Fellowship, Michael Gibson, who ran the program, confirmed that she was never offered one. This woman lied all the way up to 175 million sale. What? She fabricated every success in her story. That LinkedIn account was loaded. Oh yeah, that is like, it was that pretty face. That pretty face helped a lot. That is nature. That is biology. All these investors look at this pretty face and they were sold immediately. They did not learn the lesson with Elizabeth Holmes. No. Former employees paint a dark picture. Unpaid wages, broken equity promises, lawsuits, culture of deception, obsession with user growth over sustainability. It was all part of her philosophy. This is how it works. You fake it till you make it. Oh my God. I don't know how many times I've heard that sentence, and it has been devastating for, well, millions of people that don't understand the true meaning of that. You have to actually put in the work, and you have to, this is especially for imposter syndrome. Okay, you just do it. You have to do the real thing. You have to put in the actual hours. You have to build the actual community, the actual business. It's not that you fake the business until you sell it like these people did. Oh, Charlie, that's not how it works. She's about to pay the price for her web of lies with up to 30 years in jail. In April 2023, she was arrested. 4 counts of fraud, SAC charges, criminal charges by the Department of Justice, and faces up to 110 years in prison. Okay, well, right now we are talking about 30 years. The trial will be held on February 10, and we already know that she has been found guilty. Her story joins Elizabeth Holmes and Sam Bankman-Fried in a cautionary trilogy. Young founders who chose deception over authenticity, marketing over substance, and shortcuts over real solutions, even when the problems are there and people needed those actual solutions. But no, it was easier and quicker and more profitable to fool people. But well, they are getting what they deserve in the end. Fake it till you make it. It works until it doesn't. And when it doesn't just end careers, but it ends lives. That is, I agree with Luis in this appreciation. And we know, well, now we know the story, and now we know that we have another candidate or another, representative to our scammers hall of fame. This is something that will never end, because there will be always somebody who thinks that they can get away with it, and one lie leads to another, a bigger lie, more outrageous lie, and they absolutely believe, oh, I didn't get caught last time, I'm pretty sure I can make this work again and again. But the most important thing is being able to have a healthy skepticism about people. Okay, is this too good to be true? Maybe it is, and maybe you have to dig deeper to find out where the real stuff is happening. But as usual, follow the money and it will lead you to the truth. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Bottle Language Guy. Much love and bliss.